Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and as usual, with me tonight you have Stu. We have Stu Wally. Tonight will be a interaction show with you guys, the chat, and we will bring the latest news, and we'll also have a tactical segment talking of the proximity and how good actually Kobe Mainoo and Bruno works together. There are some updates now. Casemiro is not the only midfielder that will leave Manchester United at the end of the season, and Manuel Ugarte's long-term future at the club is in doubt. We will cover that. There's also some update news on Patrick Dorgu. Reportedly, Laurie Whitwell said he's out for the next 10 weeks, but there also came another report saying his injury is still being assessed, and Man United sources have insisted that no time scale for his injury is clear at this stage. So, for me, I feel it's a lot of speculations. There are some updates on Ward-Prowse. We will talk a little bit about Joshua Zirkzee. Even Spurs is interested in Joshua Zirkzee at the moment. So we will see what will happen. And also an ex-Man United player is coming back to the Premier League, but not Man United. It's good old Angel Gomez. So we'll also cover that. And we will talk a little bit about Harry Maguire, Jonathan Woodgate, Holland. So there will be a lot to cover. So guys, girls, stay tuned. And Jarvis and Stu will be back after the intro. And please do me a favor while you wait. Smash that like. It's so important for the channel. See you in a bit. Yes. Boom. The Tactical Devils are back. Our early Tuesday show, 7 p.m. UK. Guys, girls, this is Stu Wally. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm all right.
Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better?
Much better. Much better. So much better that I may get back into action tomorrow night. Don't know yet. I haven't made up my mind. But I might.
Are you putting yourself in? Aren't you supposed to be the coach?
Thursday, I'm coaching Thursday. So I might just go and have a bit of a get back tomorrow. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we do. See how I feel in the morning. But I want to get back quickly. I'm not one for sitting around, and it will be all right. It'll be okay. I'll do futsal more than anything, and I'll be okay. Futsal, I could survive.
You are a centre back by trade.
Correct.
For your whole life, so you are probably kind of a knucklehead like me, so I think
complete knucklehead. I've been called that on more than one occasion, complete knucklehead. But wow, it's all going off again, isn't it, today? Patrick Dorgu, interesting. Has he, hasn't he? Will he, won't he? Who knows? That type of thing, all speculation. Gonna have to deal with it if he does, really. But to be honest, you take Dorgu out, you put Cunha in.
Yeah, we are not in that big of a trouble, but it's so typical. Now Dorgu is finally, getting into top shape. His quality-wise, his momentum is going for him. We have assisted a lot of goals and scored a lot of goals lately, and basically been man of the match in the way he plays. So
he was very direct. He is very direct. He was economical-ish with the football. Still gave it away, didn't he? In his usual way. But then again, so does Cunha. Cunha runs into brick wall a lot of the times, but he gets us. He gets us up the pitch. It's funny, really, that we're having this conversation about whether we see Dorgu as a bit of a loss to the team at this point. We wouldn't be having the same conversation 6 months ago. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. We're now starting to see the best of Dorgu over the last 4 weeks. But I don't think it disrupts us. I really don't. So he's got a hamstring tear. He's got a hamstring pull. He's going to be out for a minimum of 2, maximum of probably 12, I would say.
Well, we said right away, for me, it didn't look like a tear. Looks like maybe a pull, maybe, but it's a hamstring injury, so 10 weeks. Yeah, maybe. But I bet you he's back in training after 6 weeks, and he can't do
Yes.
full sprints until 8 weeks, and he needs to get back into shape from, let's say, week 8 to 10. So he most likely will be back in 10 weeks. But I think the seriousness of the injury doesn't need to be that bad. But we know, I played football my whole life. You played football your whole life. Most of you guys have played football. And when you have a hamstring injury, you can't sprint. That's the problem. You don't feel it in everyday life. You just walk around,
Correct.
you can jog as usual. Suddenly, as soon as you go into full sprint, if you try that 100%, like you feel it
And
right
that's his
away.
game, isn't it, Jarvis? His game is get up that fucking wing, get up that pitch. No pissing about. That's his game. So I'm not going to see him. I'm with you. I don't think we're going to see him for the next couple of games. We might not even see him till he comes back. He might have the whole of February off, 2 weeks in March off. You're quite right. But we might get him back at the business end of the season for us. So it'll be interesting to see. Seen loads of stuff in the paper that Carrick now is desperate for a left winger, which I don't necessarily buy.
Yeah, there are a lot of rumors, and but before we go into it, Stu, I just want to say hi to Don Ross, Donna Ross, and Jarl Malmin, King Carrick, Alien Tenno. We have Peter in the house, Grace Sheridan. Big up, Grace. I hope you're well. Tom Porter, big up, Tom. Good to see you. Glad you tuned in. We have Bilal in the house. Big up, Bilal. I hope you're well. Let's see. We have Danny B, Irish Pit Terrier in the house, coming in with the big up crew, and always with that green and gold heart emoji. Big up, and Glazers out. Yeah. Well,
cheers, everyone.
Yeah, and Boxing Straight Talk is in the house. Big up Boxing. Darius, big up Darius, coming in and say highlights. Smashing time to be on. Big up bath time. And we have Alan in the house. We have Jamie Wayne. So everybody is in place. We are ready to start with the show. So yeah, the hamstring injury, Stu. Hamstrings, they don't lie. They don't bluff. They don't care if how fit you are, how young you are, how old you are, and how well you are progressing. And the only problem with hamstrings is they demand time, and you can't cheat. You have to take your time. You have to be 100% before you can come back into football. And the problem for Dorgu isn't just a spell on the sidelines. He loses his momentum. He's forced to stop. And it's not that easy just to getting back into shape so right away when you start training, because every time you have an injury like this, you get terrified. Especially, I have to say, a professional footballer, he will be terrified, because even if it's just a moderate tear, it's enough structural damage, in the muscle that if you start running before. You have to start running before sprinting, and sprinting before you start football. And you have to be 100% sure that you're fit before you are back into football. And I've had similar injuries myself, and it's not easy. But, I played as a midfielder. I don't have to sprint that much as Dorgu do. And the modern game is basically about sprints.
Yeah, it's a tough one, old friend. Look, he's going to have to bide his time. I know when I did my quad, I tore my quad, and that was probably the single most painful experience I've ever had in my life. Interestingly enough, I still today get worried when I'm striking a ball or when I'm sprinting. Well, I wouldn't say sprint. I can't sprint anymore, but when I'm running, and I try those things. So I do a lot of squats to try and strengthen in and around that area. And I got lucky, so I didn't have a dent in my thigh. And a lot of people, when they tear their quad, they get a bit of a dent because the tendons don't go back together. They go like that, and they kind of can go anywhere. And it could even gristle up. Mine, luckily, kind of went straight back, so I got very, very lucky with that. And a similar thing with a hamstring, he will have to squat a hell of a lot to see what strain that he can and what strain that he can't put on it. And he'll probably have to do single leg squats just to really test the the healing of the injury after about 2, 3, 4 weeks. So it's a real difficult one, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you've got to be hugely, hugely careful. I mean, Michael Owen's a great example, isn't he? Ryan Giggs is a great example. I've never done my hamstring ever. I'm so lucky.
Martial, if I can mention the name when it comes to hamstrings, they ruined his career.
Yeah,
he played injured. His hamstring never fully healed.
Yeah, recovered. And what about Michael Owen?
Yeah, Michael Owen.
Exactly. So there's a lot going on really in terms of his recovery, how we go about it. But luckily, we've got now players that we don't necessarily have to reinvest in new players. We can utilise Cunha, we can utilise Mount, we can utilise a variety of different players.
That's the thing. But, Dorgu has been special for us. We all know that Dorgu. That's what we call him nowadays. And he's become a vital part of this squad. We talked about it yesterday. It's Carrick's secret weapon, having big, strong guy, who can invert, come in play as a 10 from the winger and receive the ball. When you play it long, we can just stack people around him, and he's good enough, he's strong enough to take it down when needed. So for me, I think we lose a crucial weapon in this. Wow, we have a super chat coming in from, by the way, King Bro. Big up Real Madrid fan in the house.
Superb. Yeah, superb. I'm glad 21st Century see it, because before you do that, let me just address his comment. I did address it last night, 21st Century Vampire, and I hope you did watch. And thank you again for your super chat that you put in the post show comments. I've always been the same with assists, but I grew up in an era where you passed the football, you didn't assist anything. It was a straight pass to a player, and the player either scored or he didn't. Assists, in my opinion, really came in and around the gaming era, when the acronyms came in, a CDM, a CAM, a this or that. And that's where that type of terminology came from. So it's not that I'm a grumpy. Well, I am grumpy, actually. 21st Century Vampire, hugely grumpy. But I just wanted to say thank you for your comments, and I know Jarvis did reply on my behalf.
Yeah, and also we had two other super chats in the non-live section on yesterday's show. I don't know if you saw that. So big up 21st Century Vampire, you are a legend on the channel. Coming in with a super chat now and say, was about to go to bed and I saw you guys live. Dropped in to say hello, good night, guys. We'll catch up in the rest tomorrow. Hit the likes and subscribe, people. Glory, glory, Man United. Big up, big up, big up.
Big up, dude.
That's why we went on early, because we were hoping that you could actually join us and see us live. But I know it's late where you are in the world, so it is what it is. But anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. Bad time comes in. Darius says, Dorgu has turned into Tony Yeboah. I'm flabbergasted.
I was meant to text you earlier, but I got waylaid in meetings. See if you could dig out, and I haven't had a chance to dig out the Tony Yeboah goal. We could have done a comparison on it, but maybe we'll have a look at later on in the week. We'll see if I can dig it out, and we'll do a comparison on the technique and exactly the trajectory and where it landed off the bar, because it's a fantastic strike.
I've seen a Gareth Bale goal that's similar, so people also compare him to Gareth Bale, but Yeboah, yeah.
What a Gracie.
That was Leeds in the mid.
Was it against Liverpool?
Was it?
Remember. Yeah, it was definitely playing for Leeds. Yeah, it was a hell of a strike. I can't remember who it was against.
Neither do I, boss. I bet you the
let me Google it.
Tacticos knows.
Let me Google it.
Yeah. And Sean comes in and says, you've been saying since last year, give Dorgu time. And I think, we got to talk a little bit about the players and the coaches, coaching staff. Holland coming in, Stu. You talked a little bit about Holland yesterday, and his influence on the group of players. And I think, you know, the simplicity, how he gets them to work, how he learns them, the press triggers, and you know, you save energy when you fall into 2 banks of 4.
Yeah.
By you've learned them to see the press triggers. And I think that's why we are doing the press so well now. We press as a unit. We defend as a unit, we press as a unit. We are doing things together. We also talked a little bit about the proximity, the close proximity between the players, how we stay closer together. And when you stay closer together, you know, it's easier to communicate. It's that simple. And we got to be clear, you know, Holland, Carrick, all of them, they haven't taught the players this in 2 weeks. It's not how it works. But they found the right mix, how to get them to work together. And you know, just asking them to stay 5 yards closer, I think that's just magic.
You've got to bear something in mind, actually, because Holland is old school. He's an old school football coach. He's later on in his years. He's 60 plus or 50. I don't know his exact age, but he's 60 plus. He's been around the block more than once. He's been with some big managers, some big clubs, and they've all done well under his tutelage. And Jarvis is right. He hasn't come in and suddenly snapped the magic wand. They've put right players in the right positions, Bruno further forward, etc. Maguire, coincidentally, Maguire's back, and that's worked. That's worked. And you've got this rich vein of form from Dorgu. But
yes,
it also coincides with the return of Mbumo and the return of Ahmad. And we forget that. We've forgotten the return of them and also the return of Mazzari. So these players are back. And Amarin had his issues, but he did actually preside over getting us into the kind of position that we are. Now, I don't think he would have got us over the line. Me and Jarvis have spoken about it many a time. But he's put us into a position where Carrick or Holland or Rumours can drag us over the line and get us to 4th. I think maybe 3rd is probably a bit too insurmountable for us, but we now need to hold on to 4th like a vice grip. But what he does and what he has done, everybody, is, as Jarvis said, simplify our positional play on the pitch. Simplify where we should be. Jarvis talks about zone 14 all the time. I like my favourite zones are the edge and the defensive area of it. And we've got that pretty much locked up now in terms of where they position themselves as fullbacks, where we position ourselves as centre halves, and when we move forward and when we stay. We are a lot more streamlined, a lot more regimented on what we do in that area.
Yeah,
Casemiro is more regimented as well. He didn't actually, if you look at the Arsenal game, particularly play that deep for a lot of the game. But
no, he didn't. He didn't. It was man marking. It was man marking, so he was up and down all the time. Yeah.
But when it was required, he did pull away and he did sit into that coverage that we always talk about on the back four. But
and almost in the second half dropped in between the centre back a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. But very little, because as you quite rightly pointed out, he got a job to do and he was there to man mark. And that's what we did. Now, I spoke about man marking Rice, didn't I, with Mason Mount? When me and Jarvis, as you all know, when we pick a team that we would like to see and why you want those particular players in, I talked about Mason Mount man marking Declan Rice. As it happens, Declan Rice was completely taken out of the game on Sunday. He's still wondering what the fuck he was doing on that pitch because he hadn't got a clue.
Poor Rice.
He did. He was just lost, completely lost. And I think ultimately we're in a situation now, these players are in a situation where they're not having to worry about modernism in the game, but actually the game itself. So not having to worry about all this newfangled, well, I want to play half an 8, I want to play half a 9, and all that kind of bollocks. Holland's come in and says, your position is very, very simple. Luke Shaw, left back. Diogo Dalot, Grace Sheridan, right back. Martinez and Maguire, Centre half, please. That means centre back. Casemiro, defensive midfielder, please. Bruno, Kobe. And this is what he wants. And this is where we're playing. And that's been the only real tweak, as you quite rightly said, Jarvis, they've really done, because you can't teach the pendulum effect in 2 weeks' time, but you can remind them that they've been playing it for years. And that's all they've done. They've just reminded them the ability to stay compact, go up as a unit and come back as a unit. And I thought we did that brilliantly against Arsenal. Yeah, we conceded 2 goals. Poor goals. They were poor goals. I think we'll all admit that. And but that happens in football, Jarvis. It does. When Arsenal, this is how dumb, by the way, Arsenal fans are. I'm sorry about this. This is how dumb Arsenal fans are. When Arsenal fans look at it and look back on it, and they look at the 2 goals they scored, and they look at the 3 goals that we scored, you know, they were all, in particular, Dorgu's. That happens 1 in 10 matches. That goal Dorgu scored happens 1 in 10 matches. Doesn't happen every game. Dorgu doesn't do it every game. Happens 1 in 10. So you could think to yourself, wow, you know, but that's, you know, that happens. Cunha's goal, if he hit that 5 times, how many times does he squirm it, you know, bend it into the net? Probably maybe twice. So those, you know, so Arsenal fans are saying United are rubbish, United did this, United did that. We're not. We just risked, gambled, and took our chances.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what we did. The Mbeumo goal was their own fucking fault.
You can say so, yeah, but I think it was our press.
Well, no, it was our press, but ultimately it was their own fault. But so for us, it was an absolute, not perfect performance, but as good as we've seen. You tell me, Jarvis. I'm going back to FA Cup, maybe FA Cup final against City,
or maybe longer. But we had a good game against Spurs. We won 2-0 at home under Den Haag.
Yeah, maybe
the
longer.
FA Cup final. They're just a handful of games when we played at this level. The Barcelona game away under Den Haag, maybe that there are just a handful of games in the last 5 years, I would say. So we've seen 2 of them in the last 2 games. Let's address the super chat from Grace.
Gracie.
Thank you so much. Sorry for keep you waiting, Grace. It's just like Stu and I, we are always like this. When we just get going, you know, we never know when to stop. Grace Sheridan comes in and say nobody's really talking about it now since everybody is giddy after 2 wins. But I want Glazers and Ineos out, and we should be protesting every game.
Yeah, so I mean, the protest is going ahead. The 1958 still going ahead against Fulham, and then I believe we got Tottenham at home. After that, I can't, and then we're away at West Ham. Is that correct? So there may be that the 58 do a double.
There are a protest. The protest details is Fulham Sunday, 1st of February. Time is 1 p.m. UK, and the location meeting point is top of Sir Matt Busby Way, Chester Road, and then meeting point B is outside Hotel Football. So.
Yeah, I mean, we should be doing
away and outside Hotel Football, and both groups will converge at the Trinity. So
I mean, Grace is right. We should be continuing the protest. These 2 results, Grace, in the Devilish Tacticos, are for us to be happy for once, not be sad. For us to be actually happy and enjoy and look forward to what we're going to do to Fulham. On Sunday, which will be a very difficult game, but I do think we beat them. And then we go to Tottenham and we get Thomas Frank sacked. He's out. After we're going to sack Thomas Frank.
Could happen. Yeah.
I know that West Ham are playing very well at the moment. Jared Bowen in particular. Jarvis, you're absolutely right, has found his form again. They are playing very well. But they've lost Paquetá, haven't they, by looks of it? Looks like he's going to Flamengo or wherever he's going.
Yeah. Well, he's not left yet, but
no, but it looks like
he's his way out. Yeah.
And then is it Forest? I think after West Ham. So we've got. I think Frank is getting his haircut. I think we get 12 points, and I think that's going to cement our push for top 4. Now, Jarvis, bless him. Ooh, can we get 12 points?
I dare not hope. You know, that's
We
the
don't
thing.
hope, but
I've been burned before so many times by this Man
if
United.
Arsenal have got to play City, or Arsenal have got to play Liverpool, or whatever, then there are games that we may be able to pick up the points that they drop. We don't know that, of course, but come on, let's believe. Start to believe. But they should be protesting Grace. I think you're absolutely right, my darling. We don't want Sir Jim there. We don't want the Glazers for sure, but we're going to be lumbered with them for the foreseeable future until such time as a team on the pitch becomes so valuable that the Glazers will accept money.
Yeah, Roddy Johnson comes in and say there's two meetup points on Sunday, and as I said, fans will gather at 2 meeting points at the top of Sir Mappy Way, Chester Road, and also out football 1 p.m. on Sunday. So if you are around in the Manchester area, I suggest that you go there and join. You know, it's not about the latest results; it's about all the years on the Glazer regime and the mismanagement, stealing £1 billion out of our money, putting them into their own pockets, draining us with debt. So guys, there is a time to protest, and the protest is valid. It doesn't matter if you won against Arsenal and City. It's so much deeper than this. So if you love the club, I suggest you go and protest, but please do it peacefully. And you know, there will be children there will be older people, women, so it's not a place to go and trash the road and place and houses and break windows and all of that stuff, fight the police. It's about getting your voice heard. That's the name of the game for the protest.
It is, it is. Bilal says, did we see Liam Rossini's conference? I haven't seen it. I've not heard.
I just read a couple of quotes, but
Cole Palmer. I presume it's about Cole Palmer.
It was about Cole Palmer, and he was asked a question by a journalist, something like, "Do you think he's happy and will he stay?" And he said yes to both questions. So, as far as I know, that was a quote I read. So, I don't think there will be any of the Cole Palmer rumors to United.
It was never going to work. It's never going to happen.
Nah. Sean comes in and say, be safe, people. We hate the Glazers, but it's not worth harming anyone or risking harm. Yeah, that's the thing. But you should go protest. That's just my thought. If I lived in Britain, I would go there anyway. I know Ben, United Real Therapy, is flying over from Ireland to go protest. He doesn't even have a ticket to the game. He's just going to protest. So if you are around, if you have the opportunity, you should go there. So yeah. Stu, are we done with the Dorgu update, or do you have anything more to add?
I think we're kind of waffling a bit now, aren't we, in terms of, because we don't know anymore, but we can offer you experience. I can't hamstring wise, but I could if it was his quad. He'd definitely offer you that. I think we're done with Dorgu.
Yeah. This update came out earlier today, and it's about Manuel Ugarte. We haven't spoken much about Manuel Ugarte, and Casemiro is not the only midfielder that will leave Manchester United at the end of the season. Manuel Ugarte's long-term future is also in doubt, according to sources. So I feel that Manuel Ugarte has a long way to get into the starting 11 with Man United. I don't think he's the right fit. He has the right work rate, but he don't have the technicality or the vision, or I don't think he's good enough to play it the way we want to. So I think it's the right move if we can get rid of Ugarte. Hopefully get some money for him. I think we paid, was it 45?
I paid a bit more, didn't
50?
we? 50 odd, yeah.
I can't remember, but with add-ons and stuff like that. Maybe it was 55 or something. Yeah. But do you rate Ugarte or?
No, I don't rate him 100%. My dismay and disappointment with him is he hasn't been able to displace Casemiro. And that, if I'm Ugarte, I'm asking the reason why. I ain't working hard enough. I'm not honing in my game. I'm not watching him. I'm not learning from him. Because when I'm coming on, I'm trying to play like Manuel Ugarte, and Manuel Ugarte just isn't good enough, Jarvis. He needs to be somebody like Casemiro. He needs to watch his game, watch what he does, and try and emulate him. But these players are that single-minded; they can't be bothered. So he's got two options. He either sits on his contract, which we hate, by the way. We hate when players do that. Or he balls, he mans up, puts his balls in a sling, goes to the club. I clearly can't cut it here. I'm not going to play. I need a challenge. He's got those options. I hope he doesn't go. I hope he goes with the latter and not the former. I hope he doesn't go with sitting on his contract. But he's had a chance. To be honest, he's had a real chance to displace Casemiro, and Casemiro's form was failing, and it did fail him. We all saw it.
Yeah.
He had a chance to step in and be that six and be that holding play and said, "Sorry, Cas, love you. Think you're brilliant. My shirt now, son. You'll have to come on when, as and when." But he never took it. And a player that doesn't take it and snap that chance up is no good to you in the squad. But it's just a waste of time, because you're looking over and you're thinking, fuck, if Jarvis goes down, like, oh, God, it's got to come on. Fuck. It's the first thing you think. I do. Jesus, we're taking him off and we're bringing him on. Fucking hell, oh, God. And you have to work twice as hard when you've got that carrier, that when you're carrying a player in there. Kobe Mainoo was that. We did. Yeah, absolutely. Kobe Mainoo, like Casemiro, had that issue over that period. Now, he's a little bit of a different footballer. Kobe Mainoo that we kind of saw 18 months ago. Not quite there yet, and he will get back to there. He's just never grasped anything. Very bad. Needs to move. For me, personally, needs to go.
I second that, Stu. There's nothing more to add, actually. I think you hit the nail on the head. And I think the Devilish Tacticos agree. Dave says very disappointed with Ugarte's water carrier. Yeah. And also you got to remember, I saw Grace saying keep him as a squad player, otherwise we need 3 new midfielders, which we won't get. Well, I don't know how the long-term plan sits with the club right now, but we could see either Jim Thwaites or
both
one of the Fletcher twins or Kone coming in and taking that fourth spot into the. So maybe selling him would just open the pathway for one of the youngsters.
You're going to get rid of, I would imagine, an 80 grand a week salary. I don't know how much he earns, but minimum of 80 grand, I would say. You're going to probably get 20, 25 million for him in the coffers. With Casemiro's weekly salary at the game, that's an 18 million saving straight away. It would make sense to me. And Grace, really good shout there. And he has actually
£120, by the way.
120 grand.
Yeah, 120,000 pounds.
There you go then. So we're going to save a bit of money. I don't know what's he got left in his contract. 2 years,
if not 3. If not
3. So we're going to get 20, 25. But Grace's, look, I take Grace's point about squad depth. We've spoken about squad depth. One of the things we all enjoyed on Sunday is that when Mbume came off, Cunha came on. That's what we all enjoyed. We haven't seen that in years, that type of quality substitution. So, but I think you might be able to get a better, solider player for less than 50 million to fill that hole. I'm going to mention Edison as a great example. Is on the market for 20 to 30 million.
Yeah, but
Now,
apparently Newcastle is going for him now. We talked about it yesterday.
There's an age difference.
The Einstein theory.
Yeah, there's an age gap. I get all of that, no problem. But what I'm saying is there are players around there that might be better suited to us than that. But Grace, I take your point, and Jarvis will tell you he has had some good games when he's come on, but you can count on one hand. Is that fair?
Yeah, and also, what he does it well, but he's limited, and this is my biggest worry. He's so limited. And okay, someone, I think it was Bath Time, who mentioned the water carrier,
Yes.
but it's not even a water carrier at the moment.
I think,
and also when you talk about what we spoke about, the tactical aspect, the close proximity and staying together and playing one touch, two touch football. And Ugarte is not that guy. We've seen Ugarte with Mainoo playing a two-man midfield so many times, and it doesn't work. That's
a good point. Takes the ball into him, can't shield it that well, gets a bit flustered, but he does have his, he will get across the ground, and he will, have those minutes in matches where he does something. We'll think, fucking hell, why can't you do that for 60 minutes? Why are you only doing it for 2? So I think that the way the club wants to go, he's kind of, his position for me in the squad would be untenable, and I would move him out and bring either pull up a Collier, Swaits, or a Fletcher, or I'd go and have a look around and see what I could pick up for 30, 40 million, seriously, and do that. Look, João Gomez at Wolves, okay, much better player than Ugarte, valued at 45?
45, yeah.
Give you an idea of my thought process on that one.
Yeah, and we overpaid, and we gave him a little bit of a too big of a contract. I think that was 120 million. I think that was a steal.
120 grand a week is a lot of money. So if you get 25 in, Jarvis, you say 3 years of that, plus you save Casemiro's salary, you're in a nice position, plus whatever you saved up, plus the credit card, as you call it. We could be in a better position. I think Xerxes goes in the summer. I don't see any future for him.
Or if he's not leaving in January. There are a lot of rumors around Xerxes all the time, not from the club, but I think his management, his agent, trying to get him sold.
Well, fair enough. Look at Villa. Villa have agreed a deal. They've signed Tammy Abraham, goal scorer. They've agreed a deal to bring Douglas Luiz back today.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Two brilliant.
They are fighting for the league. They know this is the best chance.
Brilliant acquisitions. Because I bet you Abraham gets you 10 goals between now and the end of the season.
Quick question from Serious Bot fan Bot. Do you see United going in for Hackney?
Don't know really. I see the link. I get it. Michael Carrick, etc. I get the link. I think he's a really good footballer. Is he Man United ready? Absolutely not. We've got to be honest about that. If you're going to go for that type of play, you may as well try and get Alex Scott in from Bournemouth. I thought he looked really good the other day.
He did.
Yeah, I think
amazing.
Yeah, and I think you might get him for a nice amount of money, not an expensive acquisition. He might be. I know Hackney would come in cheap, by the way, Serious Bart fan. He would come in cheap, but I'm not quite think he's right for us. Yeah.
Sean, United versus everybody says I scouted 5 Casemiro replacements the other day. So many quality CD central defensive midfielders out there.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, Sean's great at that. So really good question. I mean, I read the other day, we all did, didn't we, that Wharton, Liverpool fan, Jamie Wayne told us Wharton's a Liverpool fan, he wants to go there. So it's a bit of a tricky one for us on that one. So I think we've got to Man United ready. What does that mean? No, we're not. No, sorry. Look, I understand your point, but the way that we are now, we won't displace Mainoo. He won't displace Bruno Fernandes. He ain't going to displace Casemiro. So what are you buying him for? You know, would he get straight to the Liverpool side? Take that as a question. No. So, you know, is he Liverpool ready? No. It doesn't matter where you finish in the league.
No.
It doesn't matter about negative goal difference. It doesn't matter about that. It matters about what you do in the future. And the future would be, he wouldn't be ready to rock into Manchester United's first team. My opinion, could be wrong, but that's what I think.
You're seldomly wrong, Stu. So,
but I am occasionally. You know,
occasionally, yeah. Hackney, I love, but he's too similar to Mainoo, according to Sean. So he thinks there's a lazy link.
Probably is. Yeah, probably is. I'd agree.
You know, but on that, I would actually. I think Mainoo is so vital right now. You know, I think we can replace Casemiro sort of if we put on Ugarte, but we can't replace Mainoo. I think he's the jewel. He's the diamond in this team right now for me. You know, he's the engine, the dynamo. It makes everything happen. And I was actually thinking, I was scouting for myself, thinking of players that actually could be available. And Stu, I'll tell you, I found a gem, a guy that we actually could sign in January. Give me 2 seconds. Do a couple of questions. I will just find his stats and I will reveal the guy I think we might go for. You will hate me for this, but it's just.
Well, I like little bits and pieces. Let's have a look. Yeah, Grace says Belaber and Edison would be solid too. Yeah, they would be. Jamie's Bath Times and Ugu Kochu, or wherever you pronounce it, fan. He's going to be a top player. I'm never right, never wrong 99% of the time. Who knows where I am? Take it on the head, and who knows where you are. Let's have a look. Everybody seems to like this kid.
Casey, are you ready?
Yes. Ugachuku. Everyone seems to like
he's good. He's good. His quality. Yeah. His quality. But, you know, for a short time signing just to get in for, let's say, half of a season, maybe season and a half, similar to an Ericsson signing or something like this, who can come in, do a job for... because I think, you know, as Grace, she's right, maybe it's difficult to do, let's say, 3 midfield signings in the summer, because we know because of the World Cup, everything will be very congested, very, very short amount of time. Yeah, I am titanium. I told you about Sangare.
You have?
Obviously, we should go for him. You know, he's the midfielder of the season in France, RC Lens, top of the league. I talked about this guy to you in the summer when he played for Rapid Vienna in Austria, and yes. I said we should sign him. And RC Lens signed him to the French league, and now they sit top on the league, and he's their best player. He's a fantastic midfielder, in my opinion. But no way that we will sign him. You know, that's just, we are not clever enough to do a signing like this. But looking at the Premier League proven players, yes. Okay, I will get a lot of hate for this, but bear with me. Bear with me. Mathias Jensen, the Danish midfielder who plays for Brentford. He is 29 years of age. His contract is out now, 30th of June 2026. So this summer, his contract is out. He's a midfielder. He's technical. He's very similar to Kobe Mainoo in the way he plays. He likes short passes. He likes he's good defensively. And if you look, for example, at his overall attributes, if you take Mainoo, put Mainoo in here, you see they are very similar when it comes to their attributes and how they play. And we all seen Brentford doing really well now in December and January. And guess who's been their best player, you know, on ratings and stuff like that? It's Mathias Jensen. He's fought his way back into this team now, and he's done really well. Forest game 7.7, 6.8, 8.9 against Sheffield Wednesday, 7.1 against Brentford, 7.5 against Everton. He's in form. So as a short-term option to come in, sit on the bench, be a solid Premier League proven player, technical, on the ball, has the right attitude. He's Scandinavian. I know that he will come in and give 100%. It will be his dream move to come to Man United. We'll probably get him on the cheap. His contract is out in the summer, so I bet you we could give Brentford a cheeky bid of, let's say, 3 million, 4 million maybe, and we could actually get him over the line. So that's just my thought. I don't know if you've seen anything of
yeah. Look, he's an interesting take, isn't he, Jensen? The thing about this time of the year, this time of the season, you're almost scratching around, aren't you, to try and find a hidden gem anyway. And yes. I agree with you that we're all looking for players that we would consider worthy enough for Manchester United. I think that's what it comes down to. But
yeah,
for me, I've got no issue with bringing in somebody like Jensen, because we are looking at a short-term hole plug is what we're looking at. We're looking at a bit of a short-term gap. When you buy somebody like him, your conversation to him is, look, we need you for this 6 months. Okay. We are going to be doing this in the summer, and you may not get a look in. So it's up to you to prove your worth for the 18-month contract that we may or may not give you, or the 6-month contract that we may or may not give you, or the 12-month contract we may or may not give you. So you've got to consider that side of it. And that's why I think we spoke about him last night. Ward-Prowse would be better for us, because he'll know his standing within the group. He knows he is not going to play much next season, but he offers us versatility that we're lacking at the moment. And he'll offer us a lot more versatility than our good old friend Ugarte right now. Mm-hmm. But it won't happen. We won't go for Ward-Prowse, and there's no way we'll go for Jensen.
Well, I'm just saying, it's doable.
It's
the price,
it's not
everything. His contract is running out. He won't sign a new contract. He's in form. He's doing extremely well. He's an athlete. He can run around, as Spathheim said. He can tackle, but he's good on the ball. He's technical. He likes short passing. He plays for the Danish national team. But
the thing is
well, we got to be realistic about the January midfield signing.
Yeah, that's right.
This is what we're talking about. The fourth guy coming in, being available if an injury occurs.
You're not just looking at certain things. What you're looking at is an ability to be able to come in and affect a football match. That's what you're doing. You buy a player to affect a football match, and I think he probably could do that. I've just got Junior phoning me. 1 sec, pardon.
Yeah. That's good. I'll do a couple of comments. So that's just what I'm saying about Jensen. I understand. He's obviously not as good as Elliot Anderson and Baleba and all of these guys. But we have to be creative when it comes to the January window. And we saw today the Dorgu injury. Possibly 10 weeks, and it could easily happen to Kobe Mainoo or Bruno or Casemiro or any of these most important players of the team, and suddenly we can say bye-bye to the Champions League. So I think we need a little bit more better squad depth for us. The Routinator comes in and say that sounds like a no-brainer, Jarvis. Yeah, thank you. But I knew that you all would hate my suggestion, but it's just how I see it.
Sorry about that. He's gone to Fussy and he's left his boots.
What are you supposed to do about it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the guy's 25. Bless him.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sorry, what did I miss?
No, nothing. We were just talking back and forward about Mike Jensen. So yeah. Well, that was just a suggestion. As I showed to you, Stu, this is his heat map on the left. Yeah. He hasn't played all the games. He only started 12 games, and he's been their best player now for the last 6, 7 games. So
yeah, exactly.
Basically, have just played almost the same as Kobe Mainoo. He just came in recently into the team and doing really well. But if you look, he has a lot of red in the number 8 zones. He comes from the inside, and this is his space. He finds the space, but he's 2-footed, goes on both sides, both left and right.
Here's a question then for the devilish tacticos, because none of them are having Jensen. 1 or 2 are having Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse.
Who would you go for then? Because we ain't got a lot of money. You've got to get somebody in quick. They aren't going to play much next season. So who would you go for? That would be my question.
That's realistic. That's doable.
Yeah, that's doable.
That we can afford.
That we can get. We can afford.
Willing to come, who has the Premier League experience, who can actually be willing to sit on the bench as the 4th choice. There's so many criteria you have to fill to be that midfielder.
So I think he's earning way too much cash in Saudi Arabia, isn't he? Doesn't he play with Ronaldo's team?
Suddenly, a lot of people agree with me. Thank you, Catherine. Thank
Jensen
you.
Jensen has appeared. Jensen has appeared. The Bootinator. Jensen has appeared. There you go.
Yeah. I think we should just
Trev's on Ward-Prowse. Yeah, I mean there are. Now here's the 77 retro. I don't know whether you're being sarcastic or not on that, but he is or has been superb for Crystal Palace over the period that he's played. And you're absolutely right. He has when he's played, he's been a valuable addition.
Casemiro will strangle him if he comes in.
He will. He's been a valuable addition to their team. But I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. She'll have to tell us. But, we spoke about Will Hughes the other week.
We did. Hackney, obviously a player that we should look at, but 30 million, I think that's out of the question for the January.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we won't even pay 20 for or less for Ruben Neves.
Yeah, I don't know what you'll get at that now.
Yeah. So you have to be super cheap. And Ward-Prowse, is a no-brainer. He would when we signed Ericsson. Yeah. But Ward-Prowse, today there came some rumors out about Ward-Prowse. I don't know if you saw that, Stu.
I haven't had time to really look and see what's floating around today, to be honest.
David Ornstein came out with this report earlier today, and it says James Ward-Prowse given permission to undergo medical before completing loan switch from West Ham United to Burnley. So
it did well for Burnley.
He will go to Burnley. So there will be no Ward-Prowse.
Yeah,
maybe he'll for the better.
Well. Yeah, he'll do well there at Burnley.
So what else? We had Will Hughes, and Jamie Wayne. They taken Dye. Liverpool wanted him. Yeah. I don't know if he's available. I don't know if his contract situation, but I like him. It's not too bad.
Yeah. Let's have a look. What's the best? Oh, fucking hell.
Thank you for the super chat, Bilal. Comes in and say, what's the best PR stunt this club has spun? Ooh. There's so many of them.
Easy. It's the Glazers. It's the best PR stunt the world of football has ever fucking seen.
Yeah. But if you're going to name one single PR stunt that we have done, I think we did a really good job this summer. Right before the protest, we announced that Baleba and Donnarumma is coming in.
Yeah.
I think that took the sting out of the.
It did. Nothing will take the sting out of them this time. The interesting thing will be they know the protest is going ahead. Will they do anything between now and Friday?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. But it might be United's secret midfielders re-emerged as a serious target. and you see, I don't know, somebody holding the shirt up and we're all going, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, Gas is right. Thank you so much for the super chat, Bilal. Thank you. And Gas Elliott, big up Gas. Is always strong against the Glazers. Glazers out, Gas Elliott. Yeah, I read a lot of your tweets, you know, and I like them. Say apparently the Glazers are selling their mansion right now. Yeah, I saw that on X. So they're selling, I don't know.
Which mansion?
Yeah, they have enough mansions. That's the thing.
I think they've got a few. I don't know which mansion they're flogging.
Glazers put a huge asset for sale, according to Center Devils. You know, they like to spin clickbaity stuff, but yeah, it was at like 40-50 million something. So it's more of an outhouse for them.
I would say so. It's more of an outhouse, yeah.
We'll see. Let's see what else do we got on the agenda. This. Did you read Mark Clattenburg's comment after the Arsenal game?
No, I tend not to pay any attention to him.
Okay, because of Arsenal's set piece formation, you know, they set up and basically they are blocking the goalkeeper with their bodies. And according to Mark Clattenburg, the PGMOL should change the rules so the players are not allowed to go in and actively block the goalkeeper on the corner kicks because of this, because of Arsenal. And, you know, I think you make a good point. Because I think the goalkeeper, you know, you have arms up high. So when you go into the body of the goalkeeper, he can't defend himself. And even just a little bit. And you could clearly see even on Arsenal's second goal, I think it was Timber standing on the line and like giving him a little push when he was going out and taking him on his momentum. So he went a little bit too far. The ball went over his head and they scored. For me, I think that's a foul, but not according to the rule book because they are allowed to touch each other.
I mean, the problem for me there is, and goalkeepers don't do it, by the way, they don't mingle in, you know, where Luke Shaw is, he should have been leaning forward and dragging Lemons out. As I promise you now, they will come out with him because if they don't, Lemons is just going to pick the ball up. And it takes a lot of skill to drop it directly under the crossbar. But we don't. So Lemons is staying in, he's pushing. And while he's pushing, the delivery comes in. He's never going to be on, in any kind of balance. It's a really poor way of winning a game of football, by the way. It's embarrassing.
It's anti-football.
It is.
Anti-football.
Yeah, completely anti-football.
Well, this is a quote. Ex-Premier League referee Mark Clattenburg urges PGML urgent to make a rule change. It's clear that this has become more common with set-piece coaches who are employed by clubs to get any advantage possible. It's something the PGMOL and the Premier League needs to address, and any blocking on the goalkeeper must be punished by a free kick. Yes, more fouls will be given at first, but when teams realize they will not be allowed to use this tactic, they will stop. We see this tactic used less in the Champions League as referees punish more. So this comes from Clattenburg. You know, I stand behind this. I think it's
he's right. You know, and at the end of the day, like I say, if a goalkeeper won't force the issue himself, then the PGMOL has got to come out. Crikey, if I was a PGMOL and looking at that, I'd be wanting an explanation from Arsenal. The problem you've got, it isn't against the rules.
No,
because you can position any footballer any way you like on the pitch, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. And as long as they aren't in an offside position, and how many times have you seen a player go off, wait for the ball to come back into play, and then come back on? Because he's been forced off, he's actually allowed just to walk back on the pitch. So you can position a player any way you like on the pitch. And that's all Arsenal have done. So not broken the rules. We just don't like it. I hate it. It's horrible. It's fucking wrong. It's like I said to you, the best way to stop them is to either stick a line of bodies on the actual goal line or get Lemons to go through it and just claim the ball anyway, because ultimately that's what will happen. It's just it is.
Or you can
wrong.
start with the goalkeeper on the 18-yard box line, and
Yeah,
he can run
why not?
towards the goal.
Yeah, why
You put
not?
all
I
your
mean,
players.
it's just vile, is what they did. Like I said to you, when you looked at the game, they actually were playing for corners. That's all they were interested in, Arsenal. They just wanted corners.
Mm.
You know, that's all they bothered about. But, you know, it's just one of those things.
Could you put like a maximum players who's allowed to be inside the 6-yard box? Let's say only three per team.
You'd have to change the rules again though, about where you can position players over there, because the counter argument would be, well, you know, why should we allow 6 players in the final third?
I'm just waffling.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
where the
know.
counter argument would be. For us, you've got to deal with it. The keeper. I'm not saying that Lamans is at fault there, because I don't believe he is, but the keeper's got to be more and more intolerable of what goes on, and say, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna make you do something rather than you make me do something, because when you're stuck behind a sea of people, it is impossible to dive across and get it, and they are forcing you out. And we're not strong enough, by the way. We've realised that throughout the whole season. We aren't tough enough as a team, as a unit, and we've got to protect him better. But I thought it was horrible. I thought it was just rubbish.
Retro also say we should leave the wingers and strikers at the halfway line, and you know, sometimes it baffles me a little bit. Why don't we?
Because if Lamans was to pick it up, absolutely. Retro, if Lamans to pick it up, bang, there you go. Off we go. See ya. As long as we're in our half, see ya. Won't want to be ya. Off you go.
Yeah, but why don't they?
Usually because the midfielders are the smaller players, aren't they? So it's the strikers and the mainly the strikers and centres that are.
Yeah, but you don't have to put as many. You could just put Ahmad on one side and let's say Mbumo on the other side, and
yes,
and there you go. You know, Liverpool used to do this all the time with Salah and Mane.
We did it with Giggsy. All the time as well. So.
Q&A comes in. Yeah, let's do the Q&A.
Yes, Q&A, haven't we? Yeah.
Do my notes here and see if there's anything I missed. Well, we have Angel Gomez going to Wolves. They are in talks now from Marseille. There's also talks about Tottenham Spurs trying to sell Koulibaly and trying to bring in either Mateta or Xerxes. So they are actually in looking for a striker. And you mentioned the Douglas Luiz thing. Just one more thing that I want to mention. We talked about the coaching staff, and this came out, Stu, and actually Jonathan Woodgate speaks Spanish, which have helped him find common ground with the Spanish speaking players in the Manchester United squad. That's interesting.
He was only in Madrid for 15 minutes, wasn't he, on his debut, and he's managed to speak Spanish. No, fair play to him. Like I say, he may.
But being a coach, you need to be able to communicate well with your players.
He may be a more accomplished person than we give him credit for. We just see that Jonathan Woodgate is an absolute tit. But this version of Jonathan Woodgate might be somebody we just don't know. So quite interesting. But yeah, good on him. He did a season, didn't he, in Real Madrid? So maybe it's a quick learn.
Maybe. But let's do some questions. I don't know how much time you have before you.
I'm gonna have to go on a football boot run by the looks of it in about 20 minutes. So
okay.
Kids. So we got about 20 minutes. Yeah, I can do.
Cool. Let's do a lot of questions. I've tried to start some of you, but just get your questions in. Even if you have put the questions in earlier, just get it in. So I'm sure that I will have.
We should go back to Trev's question from last night, and Trev says we can stay where we are. Trev says, "Who's your biggest influence and why?" Should go back to that, really.
I think that's a difficult one.
Footballing
wise, Maradona, has been one of my biggest influence.
Yeah.
But when I was 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, had Maradona videos. I was watching Maradona. I was trying to do what Maradona did. I talked about my warm-up routine, the life is life, just having fun with the ball and trying to be a kind of a dribbler and technician on the pitch. But, from obviously I have family. My dad has always been a role model for me, and that I have had coaches, I have had other people in my life. So, but no, I think I need more time to answer it, quite frankly. But I know you have prepared something, Stu.
Yeah, I'm the same. Look, my dad was a huge influence in my life. He taught me right from wrong. He shaped me as a human being and as an individual. So did my mum. And you can always be grateful for those, and they should always be in your list of influences in your life. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you got with your parents or not. They were the ones that helped shape you as an individual. But I'd tell you an influence who taught me not to, and that was Gaza. Gaza taught me not to look at alcohol. Gaza taught me not to get into a group where people would influence you in their way of thinking. Gaza showed me a way that you should be individual, remain individual, and always remain individual. And I think for me, watching the demise of a great sportsman, a great footballer, and looking at people who were in and around his circle at that time go unpunished, and looking at Gaza today, I was heavily influenced by how I wanted to act as a man and a human being, as a husband and a father. And so I was influenced in a different way by seeing what happened with Gaza. So, Trev, I hope that answers your question. It was a difficult one. Brilliant question, by the way, mate. You did come up with some quirky ones, but sometimes you come up with a quality one, and that was a very, very good question. Right, let's see what we've got. So we did tell you we would answer it, Trev, and we are true to our words, and we did. Right, Sean says, hi, Sean, good to see you. He says, do you not see Fletcher getting more minutes? I think Fletcher's probably had his fill for the season, unfortunately. I think there's been too many games, Sean, where, and I know it was under Amarin, by the way, we haven't seen a Fletcher under Carrick, and that might be a different story. But certainly under Amarin, he was lost in games. He couldn't quite do what we needed him to do in games, and they bypassed him. So, probably, unfortunately and unfairly, a little bit like Obi Martin back at the beginning of the season when he was playing, and unfortunately for Shea Lacey, he's had a bit of a dose of reality as well, hasn't he? Back in the under-21s. I think probably if there is a push coming, Sean, for top four, I would expect not to see more of Fletcher.
No.
But that would be my
in
thought.
The future we will definitely see more, hopefully, if they're good enough to fight themselves into this Man United squad. But I agree with you, haven't seen enough.
Yes, it's a shame, isn't it? But I don't think it's one of those where you wouldn't want to ruin a player, because he's got undoubted quality, hasn't he? I think we'd all agree with that. So
yeah.
Great question. Right. Question for you, Jarvis, my old mate, from Jamie. Jamie says, Jarvis, would you take and die as cover till Dorgu's back?
Well, he will never come to us because he knows he will probably sit on the bench because of Cunha. But in a theoretical world, I would take him.
I actually think you're right, Jarvis, in your assessment. I haven't got anything to add on that one, pal. I think absolutely right. I think I'd agree with you. Good question, though, and there are players out there that we wouldn't take. Let's see. Let's have a quick look. Serious Bart fan, you've asked a few, so we'll come back to you in a minute. Jamie Wayne's got a question. Again, another one. He says, Stu Jarvis, serious question. What happens if Mbeumo, Cunha and Martinez or Mainoo gets injured or even Sesko? And we have no cover to the rest of the season. Actually, we raised that last night, my old mates. Didn't we, Jarvis? About, I think I come out and said we're one serious injury away from probably, not being able to compete for top four. And I think you're absolutely right, James. So me and Jarvis are in complete agreement. We need to strengthen. We need to add to the squad. But we don't believe that the shower of shite who are governing us at the moment will do anything. But me and Jarvis are in both.
We do have Shea Lacey, as you already mentioned, as an attacking option. But I think that right now, if Dorgu is injured, let's say if Cunha gets injured too, Cunha is injury prone, so it could easily happen. So then we have no one to play on the left. Then we are back to playing Mason Mount or Xerxes, and I think that will weaken us. Really weaken us if we go down that path.
Absolutely.
So it worries me a little bit.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. Yep. Thanks, Jamie. Good questions, buddy. Darius, would the Normans in 1066 have been able to conquer the UK if Paulinho had been present? Absolutely not. Certainly not the Fulham Paulinho. I think the Paulinho that we're seeing at the moment is a better player still. He surprised me this season anyway. I know he surprised Jarvis. I know he surprised a few of you guys, but absolutely not. The true Paulinho, you must be joking. Should have been at United. Should never have gone to Bayern. And we'd have been happy. Yes. Thanks for that, Darius. Let's have a look. Here's one for you. Jarvis, who are the Spanish speakers in the squad?
Well, I saw you guys having a debate.
Yeah, I saw that,
We have the Portuguese players. They speak Portuguese. It's not Spanish. We have the Brazilian players. They speak Portuguese, not Spanish.
Argentina, so Martinez speaks Spanish.
Yeah. So we have Martinez.
Who else speaks Spanish in there? I'm just trying to think now.
We have some French-speaking players. I
bet
we've
got some French-speaking players.
Masraoui and Glenny Yoro speaks French.
Ahmad, is he French? Mbeumo?
I don't know do they speak French on the Ivory Coast?
French, aren't they? Cameroon. Yeah. Anyway, you would argue though that most of our English players can't speak English, so maybe they're better with Spanish. I don't know.
I don't know how similar Portuguese and Spanish is. Do they actually communicate? Would it be like let's say English and Scottish?
No, it's quite different Portuguese. It's quite a difficult language, actually. Yeah, it's quite a difficult language. Thanks, Paul, for that, mate. Really good question. The Primot says, so when all is said and done, who do you think will have the better career, Mainoo or Palmer? Oh, fucking hell. Well, there you go.
I know the answer.
I don't, actually. Go on, then.
No, it's Kobe Mainoo, without a doubt. He possessed the bigger talent. For me, Palmer is more of a one-trick pony. Okay, he's good, but I think he has a certain attribute, and that's to cut inside and find the space to take the shot, and it's very precise and it's good at that. But Kobe Mainoo is more all-rounder, but the skills he possesses, it's only, let's say 10, 15 players in the world who can do what Kobe Mainoo is doing, especially in tight spaces.
Yes,
not
I
many
agree
of them.
I'm wondering with Palmer, and it's only a wonder, I'm wondering with Palmer if he's having to play that specific way for Chelsea. So he has to accommodate the way that Chelsea play rather than the way that he wants to play. I don't think we've seen the best of Palmer. I definitely agree with you on that one, the Primot, because I know that's what you're asking. Today, right now, if you'd asked me 18 months ago, Jarvis, I'd said Palmer all day long because he was sublime for 18 months. when he first joined Chelsea. Sublime. He was the match winner in probably about 70% of their games. Seeing where Mainoo could be, I think Mainoo's probably going to have the. I think I'm going to go with Mainoo. There you go.
Yeah, Mainoo without a doubt for me.
But it wasn't an easy choice. But I'm going to go with Mainoo.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well,
okay. Trev says, and we've got just a couple more questions to go, gents. Question. Oh, I like this one as well. What is, in your opinion, is your best asset as a person?
Yeah,
well, I know what mine is. I'm honest. If I say yes, it's a yes. If I say no, it's a no. Don't bother asking me. I am that simple. Yes or no. I'm simple anyway, as you can tell. But if it's yes, I mean it. If I say no, I mean it. And that's it.
I think Trev found these questions in the catalog of job interviews. You know, your best attributes.
Oh, brilliant.
Worst attributes? No, I don't know. You know, I'm a happy camper.
Happy go lucky. Happy go lucky. Couple left. What else have we got? Here's a good one. Pete says the best football player you've seen is George Best, hands down. The best football player, which I've never seen Best play live, Pete. But everything that I've seen about him is just sheer class. Yeah, I would agree with that. Best player I've seen live.
Yeah, well, you don't have to ask me. Oh, everybody knows what I'm going to say when it comes to
yes,
this.
we do.
It's only one player.
Yeah,
and he has the hand of God.
He does. Who was that, Jarvis? Just out of interest.
Armando.
Diego.
Yes.
Maradona. I think, Pete, the best player I've enjoyed seeing live, definitely Eric Cantona. I love to see him play. So I would have to go him, but I've never seen George Best live. So I like that.
Jarle comes in and say Diego Maradona, and Retro says Sander Berge.
Sander Berge. Yeah, what else have we got? Sander Berge.
Bellal comes in and say Bebe. Best
of course. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't want to bring Bebe up because Bebe is the greatest player of all time, isn't he? Let's see what else have we got.
No, Darius. He's not the spirit, even though he's in Napoli right now and giving them the Scudetto. But it's not.
Is this true? Is that true?
Jarle knows his stuff. So I trust Jarle when it comes to this. Marmouche fleeing City.
Fleeing City. Is he on his way to Fenerbahce? Wow. I didn't know.
I rate Marmouche. I like him.
I like Marmouche, yeah. He's had a tough time, hasn't he, with injuries and that. But yeah. And he's obviously been away with the African Cup and came back and scored, though. It's worth noting.
He did.
But
we can't sign a player from City. That's sacrilege. You can't do that.
Yeah. Final question. This is one for both of us, really. Certainly you at the moment, Jarvis, and that is from Trev. Are parents too pushy with their kids on the sidelines today? Yes, it's great for support, but do they need to make their own decisions to flourish and not those of family members?
In my opinion, from what I've seen, I don't know the stats on this, but personally, the parents for the kids on my team, they are fantastic. Always supportive. They stay away when we have the practice. They don't say anything. They let me be in charge. Even if a kid hurts themselves and start crying and stuff, it's up to me to fix it. And most of the time, I just go there and put out my hand and say, "Get up, son. Let's run it off. let's get going." And because most of the time, when they really hurt themselves, So most of the time, it's a little bit of attention and stuff like that. So most of the parents are brilliant to stay away. So I have no issues with that. And as far as right now, but it's 9 years old, so maybe it will be worse when. Let's say when they are 12, 13, when you have dads around, having ambitions for the son and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I think parents, certainly in the UK, can be pretty pushy. I've come across it. I've seen it. I've seen coaches challenged. Why haven't you played my son? He's better than your kid. All that kind of stuff. I don't like it. I don't like videos you see around on social media at the moment where parents are putting their kids through rigorous training, where they're trying to do certain things that you would never do in a game of football to sharpen his skills and to try and get him noticed in a football club. I think the biggest issue is the money and the fame, and I think parents are looking at money and fame. They're trying to do what a Richard Lewis did with the Sabrina and Serena Williams, the Kelsey brothers, and in American football, the Nevilles. They're trying to, the Fletchers. They're trying to make their kids become something, and it's getting harder and harder and harder to get noticed in professional football at the moment. If you're not big, you're not strong. It's difficult to make it in the league, and we've seen some great footballers, really good footballers at Manchester United, not make it, and they've been pushed through the system. And you see it on parents' faces. You talk to parents. Oh, who's your son play for? Well, actually, he's in the Stoke development squad, and they're very, very proud that it's a development squad, but that's not academy level. So and you don't say this to them, but they're having to pay for their own kit. Whereas academy level, you don't. So there's certain subtleties and certain things that are happening at the moment with football. And if you don't make it, it's a tricky one. So I think it's a very fair question. And I think it can be a bit pushy.
Stu, I just want to do a quick question from Bath Time coming in and say, what's the best Norwegian film, Jarvis? Preferably not one about fish. But I have to say that there's one from the late 80s that's called Orion's Belt. It's about 3 fishermen up in, have you heard about an island called Spitsbergen or Svalbard? It's an archipelago, islands up in the north. It's we share it with the Russians. So one Norwegian settlement on one part of the islands and a Russian settlement on the other part. And this was during the Cold War. And there was some conflict with the Russians. That's a brilliant movie. So, and it was even nominated for the Oscars. Go check it out. Orion's Belt.
Just one more question before we go. I've just noticed Roddy's question. Roddy Johnson says, would you play Mount in the pivots? I would say no, I'm afraid, Roddy, but I would use him as a man marker.
No, I wouldn't play Mount in the pivot. No,
I would use him as a man marker, but definitely not in the pivot. Sorry, Roddy.
Well, in the 3-man midfield, but not in the pivot. No. By the way, it's not Ryan's Belt. Orion, like the
Orion.
3 stars. Orion's Belt. Or
Orion's Belt.
Yeah, Orion's Belt.
Orion's Belt. Yeah. Okay.
Belt.
Brilliant, guys. I am going to have to go shortly, so we will have to not questions now, but we will be back Thursday. Although I might be a bit late because I'm coaching. And we'll do the preview for the Fulham game. Roddy, if you join us Thursday, we normally start about 9 o'clock. I know you said 3-1 to United, but we'll go through what we believe will be the starting 11, and also we give our score predictions. But me and Jarvis also go through our favoured 11 as well. It's quite fun, that part.
Stu, 1 minute, and we will. Did we miss out on any of Bilal's questions?
I don't believe so. So look. We did that one, didn't we? Was that the one I'm missing? Can't see another one.
It's this one. If the Roman Empire existed today, would they dominated world football?
The Roman Empire, would they dominate?
Well, it depends on Totti. If Totti was still playing, I think they would.
Yes.
Totti.
It also depends, and Roberto Baggio, of course. It all depends on the Roman Empire, where Julius Caesar was played by Michael Palin. Then they wouldn't dominate F4.
Dicketh.
Yes, Dicketh. Yes, exactly. But I mean, they've had some fucking fantastic players, haven't they? Italy, some absolute phenomenal footballers. But the Dorgu Scalacci will probably go down as the greatest name in Italian football, never to make it huge. He was brilliant that time.
1990 World Cup. If you don't know who Salvatore Scalacci is, one of the best.
Yes.
One of the best. Just to answer the question, I was going to talk about the tactics, and if you give me 30 seconds, I will be brief. Yes. What I was mentioning is what I see right now. It's not about, you talked about it in the beginning, positions and zones. But for me now, I feel the type of attacking football right now, it's not about positions and zones. We are more of a free-flowing relationalism type of football. And when you are in close proximity, it's all about what your teammates are doing and how they are moving, and you move accordingly. So it's not about positions and trying to stretch the pitch and holding your width and all of this anymore with Carrick. As far as I've seen in the two first games, it reminds me a little bit about Thiago Motta, the guy who came from, was it Bari and then Juventus?
Thiago Motta.
Yeah,
he was definitely, wasn't he?
And also Vitor Pereira, the Brazilian coach, the old Brazilian coach. You know, he didn't have any set formation. It was just about relationalism when you go attacking and stay close. So you can have 9 men on the left hand side, just playing tight together, threading themselves out of one side. And for me, I feel now we are heading that way. So that's just my take so far.
No, possibly. It'd be interesting to see what he adopts at home against Fulham. I think that's what I'm kind of looking forward to seeing, what he adopts, how he plays, and it'll tell us a lot about the way that Carrick wants to operate moving forward, I think.
Pete.
Just advertising it
there. It's not the color it used to be, you know.
No, it's the TV cameras. It's the light in there, isn't it, pal?
Yeah.
It's the light in there.
You can just turn it off.
Turn it. That's it.
Better. Looks better.
Dark. You look dark now. Darker.
Yeah. It's been a brilliant show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. You know, and we will be back Thursday doing the preview for the Fulham game. So it will be interesting. I will go through the tactics of Fulham. I watched the Fulham game when they played against Brighton this weekend. So I've taken note or two. So I'm prepared for that one. And you know, the Fulham coach is a brilliant guy. So I have a deeply respect for this team, and it won't be a walkover. So if you want to know more about Fulham and Man United, tune in on Thursday night, 9 p.m. guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I haven't reminded you since the beginning, but please do me a favor, smash the like. I think we are on 36 likes. I want to come up to 50. So if you haven't smashed the like, now is the time. And if this was your first time on the Tactical Devils, do us a big favor and subscribe and hit that bell notification. And End the Madness is coming in with We Are the Reds, We Are the Reds, We Are the Reds, We Are the Reds.
We
always
are indeed.
With his positivity. Thank you, End the Madness. And thank you, Trev. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pete, Bath Time, all of you legends, Trevor Vade. See you on Thursday night.
Yeah,
Have
Thursday.
a good one.
Take care.
Thank you, Stu.
Take care.
Pleasure,
as always.
And,
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.